they don't want to relate to the African culture at all. So, and that is by itself an identity crisis that need to be solved. I believe that there are many issues that are rampant within our community that very or less often talked about. When you embrace that role in life, you give up part of your personal life.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Deep Dive Podcast. My name is Raissa,
And my name is Gloria.
and today we're here with Dr. Rodrigue Yonga. He is a father, a passionate educator, a humble but fierce community leader, and an edupreneur, above all, a people servant. In 2023, he launched the Francophone Heritage Society, which is a non-profit organization to help kids learn French and stay in touch with their parents' cultural background and in heritage. He has served in many capacities as the vice president, the board member, and the president, as well as the chairman of many communities and professional organizations. He is currently the public director of the All Bamileke Convention of North America, and he is the author of La Force du Divorce, which is a book that he recently wrote. Help us welcome Mr. Rodrigue Yanga.
Welcome.
Yay!
Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So we wanted to know, first of all, how were you able to make it to America and become the person that you are, which is a lot of accomplishment that you have been able to do. But how did it start?
Yes, coming to America, I came as many immigrants with a dream in my mind. And how did that make that dream possible to cross the seas to land here in America? Well, I used to work in Cameroon as assistant to a member of the parliament who, by many strings that she could pull, made me be able to come to America. And that's my story. And one thing leading to another, here I am today.
Awesome. Wow,
Great,
thank you
great.
for that.
Great. So tell us a little bit more. I know I briefly spoke about your accomplishment and your career. Tell us a little bit more about your career and your accomplishments.
Yes, my career started back in 2004, just 3 years after I came to America. I started here in Los Angeles as a substitute teacher. And because of my background in languages, I believe that I had a passion working around kids and added to my level of patience that I'm recognized. So I decided to go into education, and that's how in 2008, I went back to school to get my master's degree along with my teaching credential and became a full time teacher. And ever since, I've been teaching here in Los Angeles. I've been across many schools in the city, and now I'm a full time teacher. Like I say, it's been 20 years in education.
Wow.
Long journey, but very interesting one.
Okay. All right. How about the other organization? Like I know you're part of the All Bamileke Convention and you created a society, a non-profit society in 2023. Can you tell us a little bit more of those?
Yes, being an educator, I've been very observant on how kids behave around me and my own kids at home. I realized that they had big issue connecting to our culture, I mean, our back home culture. And living here in America, I understood that they have a permanent conflict within them. Having that identity crisis helped me understood that I had a contribution to bring forward as an educator. And that's how I decided to create the Francophone Heritage Society, which is a bridge between African and American culture in terms of reclaiming the kids' identity and help them find themselves within this society. And as a teacher in the school where I am now, I realized being in a population of kids who are predominantly Hispanic, I realized that they speak highly of their culture. They speak highly of their food, of their music, of their dances, and everything that goes with it. But
Right.
my kids at home can barely relate to the ndole or to the koki that we eat all the time. They would rather eat pizza or hamburger or cheeseburger, which might be something very trivial. But when you look deeper into it, you understand that they don't want to relate to the African culture at
Right.
all. So, and that is by itself, an identity crisis that need to be solved. And I believe personally that bringing the language into it can be good transition into bringing them into the culture, because as we say, languages are the bridge between cultures. And that's where how I started the Francophone Heritage Society back in April of 2023, and now it's been more than a year. And when I started, we had about 20 kids in the group, and after about 6 months into what we were doing, we had about 70 to 75 kids, which, underscores that many parents understood the need of what we were doing. And at some point, we took a little pause. We made a little pause just to recreate and to revamp completely what we were doing and transition into a platform that is completely online, which kids will use permanently. Because back when we started, we used to teach kids every Sunday, and kids were scattered all around across the country, which made it a little bit difficult for us to continue to keep the education continued. So we decided to create that platform that kid will use all the time and go online anytime, without too much help of educators that we are.
That's great. That's great.
And on the other hand, if you help me, let me continue with the
Yes, please.
question. With the All Bamileke Convention, the All Bamileke Convention is another cultural aspect of what we are doing in the community. And I am the public director of the All Bamileke Convention. And it is an umbrella that brings together all the Cameroonian association here in the United States, more specifically the Bamileke Association here in the United States and in Canada. And so
Wow.
far, we've held 4 conventions, one in Atlanta in 2019, and one in Colorado in 2022, Los Angeles in 2023, which I was the chairperson of, and more recently in Dallas in 2024.
Okay.
Okay.
So, how can someone join? Someone who is Bamileke, how can they join the group?
Yes, to join the All Bamileke Convention, you go through your local association. There are many local associations of Bamilekes around the United States, and if the one closer or the closest to you is not part of the All Bamileke Convention yet, it means you have some work to do. You have to tell them about what we are doing and to bring them to join the larger group, because together we can achieve more.
Okay.
Okay.
So, what are the benefits of being a part of the All Bamileke convention group if you're Bamileke?
Yes, first of all, being part of the All by Mickey Convention is being part of a bigger network than
Mm.
who you are. Personally, I've been part of it since day one. We created it back in 2018. And now when I go anywhere in the United States, I feel at home.
Yeah.
I'm welcome anywhere in any state because of that network that we've created. So by itself, that's a powerful tool. And also, we are trying to use that as a leverage to invest back home and create many communities, tools that we could use to invest back home.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank
let
you.
me just backtrack a little bit, right? So
Yes.
the nonprofit organization that you created to help to bridge the gap, you mentioned that it was for all Africans. So this is not just for Cameroonians, right? It was to bridge the gap for all Africans that speak French, for them to like connect back, right, to like their culture. Is it all Africans, or is it specifically Cameroonians?
I started with Cameroonian in mind, but within the group that I have many people even from the Caribbean.
Okay.
I have some students from Haiti and many from different countries in Africa.
Okay. What is the value that you guys offer? Let's say I'm a parent, or or a parent is looking to maybe connect their kid to organizations that will help them in that aspect. How
Yes.
do they get in contact, and what are the services that you guys actually offer to the kid?
Yes, the service that we offer mostly is teaching them French. At the beginning, we start with teaching them French. And again, the goal is to help the kids reclaim their identity. And how can they reclaim their identity? By learning French, because languages are the bridge between cultures. Kids,
Yes.
if they're able to speak the language, they will understand the intricacies of the connection between languages and the culture. And that will help them, go back in connecting with parents' culture. Many kids from African descent will usually will say, "I am from America, but my parents are from Cameroon, or my parents are from Congo, and my parents." We want them to say, "I am from Congo," and be proud to say that. "I am from Cameroon. I am from Haiti," and
Mhm.
so on. So that's what we're aiming to do with the kids. And again, I went back to the example I gave you. When I asked my student in class, "Where are you from?" They usually don't tell me I'm from America. They tell me, "I'm from Mexico. I'm from Honduras. I'm from Puerto Rico," and so on. So that, when you see that difference in the mindset, you understand that there's a problem somewhere.
Right.
And that's the problem we're trying to address with the Francophone Heritage Society.
Okay, I see.
So, also in regards to the your book, right? Because I know you're also an author as well.
Right, yes.
So what is the translation of the title of your book in English? We have it
Okay.
in French, but
Yeah, the book is in French and it's also in English. It's The Rocking Force of Divorce.
The rocking
wow.
force.
The rocking force of divorce, meaning divorce can rock you in so many
Oh,
ways. So,
rocking. Okay.
rocking force of divorce. It is available online on Amazon, so you can find it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes. Well, that's a pretty controversial title.
absolutely.
What was the inspiration behind this book?
Yeah, the inspiration. Maybe I will go back to the title first because you mentioned that. The
Mm-hmm.
title of the book, I was doing my writer's job, which is, to create awareness. And in order to create awareness, you need to bring some flavor to it. If
Yes.
you, so I usually say that if I say a dog beat someone at the corner of the street, that is business as usual. That can happen. But if I tell you someone beat a dog at the corner of the street, you will wonder what happened, and you're probably going to get out to go see what truly happened. So that's how I came to bring, some awareness with the title of the book by writing with La Force de Divorce, or the rocking force of divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Many people will come and ask, how is divorce is a force? And just by asking that question, that brings them to give some attention to the work that I did. And that was the idea behind it. Now, to the book itself, why did I write a book about divorce? I'm a community leader, as we've been saying at the beginning, and being a community leader and an educator, I believe that I have a work to do in the community that I am into, or that I help leading. And as such, I believe that, there are many issues that are rampant within our community that very or less often talked about. And as an educator, I believe that it is my duty to bring those kind of topics forward.
Okay. So, in regards to the book, how has been the buzz around the book in the community? Are people receiving it, or is it causing controversial conversations when you're, doing your book signings and you're in the community as well?
I would say a little bit of both. At the beginning, it started with controversies, and many people did not even want to associate with that. But as I started being invited around in many states and cities around the country, people get to understand through the intervention that I had that, it was more so of an education work than, trying to promote divorce, as the title tend to infer.
Okay.
Okay.
Why should someone read the book? What is your sales? What's the pitch for the book? Because the title is interesting, but now what if someone's like, well, why should someone read the book?
Yes, by starting reading it, you understand that it's a book that you need. Because personally, an experience that I lived, and I know that it's not a fun experience in the community. And again, as a community leader, I understand that many families in our community go through that. And I can speak of that about that as an educator. In the classroom, many kids, or the kids that come from stable families, tend to behave or to work better than those who come from broken families. Unfortunately, that's a reality that I live as an educator on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I believe that it was necessary to address that within my community.
Right.
And going around now, people get to understand better that, it is something that you need to pay attention to, and probably get a copy and sit down. And if more questions, I'll be happy to come around.
Okay.
Okay. All
Awesome.
right. So the book addresses how divorce affects kids, And also, like, can you tell us like maybe two or three topics that the book addresses? Because I know it's gonna help like parents if people are going through divorce. Your book is a good reference as coaching, right? To help them to relate and pay attention to their kids. Because that's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
so. What else? What other points would you say that are like good teaching points that someone going through that would benefit from the book?
Yes, the book talks about divorce in general, and again, it's not 100 and something pages, which is makes it not an encyclopedia.
Mm-hmm.
And you understand that it doesn't touch on all aspects of divorce, but I believe that it is, a conversation starter, and that was the goal of my book. And it
Mm-hmm.
talks about the causes, the consequences of divorce, and also talks about the difficult topic of child support, and finally talks about many immigrants having to leave America, abandon the American dream because of child support, for example.
Right.
So again, it goes from the divorce, the causes of divorce, to the consequences, and then all other aspects around the topic of divorce.
Okay, great.
Okay, that's good.
Thank you. That's good.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Is that just for Bamile case? Because some Cameroonians might feel a little. Why are you? Is that only for Bamile case, or is it for Cameroonians in general? Because some might feel left out.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to start with something and also inspire other people. Cameroon is a country, as you know, with a very large number of tribes or number of, diverse regions. So living here abroad as a Bamileke, we have to stand up for ourselves. We need to regroup. We need to promote our culture and do the things that we say we're going to do within our All Bamileke Convention. And by doing so, it's not just, creating and living as a single group, but we tend to promote living together. And just an example, the account of the living here in the United States have started something similar to the All Bamileke Convention, and they drew the inspiration from what we've been doing. So to reply to your question directly, yes, it is just for the Bamilikes and those who can be related to Bamilikes by alliance, through marriage or and other things like other kind of relationships. But yeah, it is for Bamilikes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right then.
And also, I wanted to know, what do you think about mentorship? Have you been mentored in your life? And, is that something that you believe in?
Yes, I've been mentored. I will never be here I will never be here today if it wasn't of mentorship. As I told you, in Cameroon, I was under the umbrella of Madame Foning, not to name her, who was a very prominent lady in Cameroon. I worked, and this is very funny because working around her, I was a steward, I was an assistant, I was a director of a cabinet, so I was everything in one. And that level of humility that I brought next to her, or that I was able to exhibit next to her, was made me coachable and
Mm.
mentorable, if I could use that word expression. And that's why I was able to learn everything that I learned. In the book, in the preface of my book, I say Madame Fonny teach me the art of living, and which
Hmm.
I truly believe she did. And
Okay.
if I'm able to be here today and do everything that I'm doing, yes, it's because of her. That's why I'm trying to transmit to other people as well. When
Yes.
you receive, you have the utmost duty to transmit.
Cool.
And as an educator, I believe in that. I'm a lifelong learner, and I believe that transmitting knowledge, transmitting experiences through coaching, through mentoring is very essential to our society.
Okay.
Yes. Thank
And
you.
just to connect the dots, Madame Foni is actually Gloria's grandmother.
Yes.
So
So
Well,
he's
this
my
is,
uncle.
you know,
Dr. Rodrigue is like an uncle to me, actually. So he's actually
yes.
my uncle.
yes,
So
I saw Gloria growing up.
Oh,
Gloria, I mentored Gloria, so to speak, when she was little. I babysat Gloria. So
no
yeah,
way. Look at
yes,
that.
I babysat
Okay.
Gloria, And today, through the magic of connection, mentoring, and extending a helping hand, yes, that's where we stand today. And we extended that helping hands to other people through Gloria, through other connections that we have in the community.
Yeah.
And my life is about service because I'm
Mhm.
here where I am today because of someone pulling me up.
And honestly, you are showing this every single day when I talk to you, when I see what you're doing in the community. And even now, you're still helping people,
Thank
people
you.
that I know personally. And they've been telling me how you've been able to pull strings through your connections. And, for me, I'm like, wow, you're not just speaking about it, but you're doing it, right? So, and it's very rare sometimes to meet people that have that type of they remember they're not people that yes, this has happened to you, someone would helped you, but you just care about yourself,
Yes,
you're
and
not.
besides that, sorry, yeah, besides that, I think beyond the education that I received through the mentorship, I believe that it was a life training. It was a life training that still ingrained in me, and which makes me a service person, basically. And you say that, Raissa, through my introduction, that I'm a fierce community leader. I'm a humble but a fierce community leader, and that's what I believe. That's the best portrait I can make of myself.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
And so, for people that are watching and that may want to get in touch with you,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps, because you do so many different things, you're an educator, you're an author, you're, entrepreneur, right? You have
Yes.
so many hats that you're wearing. And how can someone get in touch with you if they want to, have a one on one, perhaps coaching with you in regards to different things that you provide as a service to the community?
They can get. I mean, they can get in contact with me through you guys because you have my information. That's the easiest way to go about it. And also, my book is available on Amazon, so that's a way to contact me
Hmm.
through Amazon. So yeah.
Yes.
And also online is now we live on social media. If you Google me, my
Mhm.
phone number, my email will certainly pop up somewhere.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. That's good.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. And I think the last question that I wanted to ask before we, wrap things up is, so you being who you are, I know you're a people person. How has that, how do you handle your personal life, when it comes to family, when you're always on the road, you're doing book signings, you're in the community, you're doing the convention, you're a school teacher, you're doing all of these things. How do you balance your work life and your personal life?
Yes, I will say that through what I've received in from Madame Foning, I've lived close to her to know that when you embrace that role in life, you give up part of your personal life. And living next to her, your uncle Patrice will sometimes send items from the United States, and she will make me open them and distribute to people all around, and not prioritizing her own children or grandchildren around or cousins. And that's how I live
Um,
up to see that, if you decide to serve, you serve everyone, not just your own people. But obviously, we need that fan base that get us going every day. We need a spouse, a partner, or kids around us that will keep us in check, or that will
mhm.
give us some emotional
Support.
light, to go on to keep going when sometimes the outside part is gets harder. Yes,
That,
I do have a personal life, but obviously, like I say, my life is all about what I'm doing in the all aspect that I embody.
okay, okay, okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Raisa, do you have a question before we wrap things up?
No, I don't have any questions, and we're thankful for your time and for the knowledge that you've shared with us. And this was definitely a great and insightful conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And again, as I said at the beginning, this is the most beautiful way to finish up the year 2024. Being around many, I mean, a lot of inspirational ladies like you guys. And I
Oh.
see the work that you guys do in the community as well. It's not, I'm talking about me here because I'm the interviewee, but if we were talking about you guys, I'm sure there's a lot to learn from you as well. So thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, then. Thank you very much, and we would get in touch with you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.